So last night TikTok went dark and it's already back on. And I've had so many people asking me what I think about the TikTok ban, and I've not really did any content on it, and I've actually not posted on TikTok in quite a while, and I'll tell you about that later. But I've had a lot of friends concerned and asking me what my thoughts are about the TikTok ban, and I can tell you how I felt all along. And then last night, everything that I ever felt about it was pretty much proven to be true. I've always felt like that this was a scam by Donald Trump to come in the hero in the story. We got to remember that Donald Trump is the one that started the TikTok ban. We wouldn't be in this boat today if it wasn't for Donald Trump. He is the original one that wanted it banned, and he's the reason why that we're here. And shout out to Harry Sisson, who said this. He said, "You don't get to set the house on fire and then dial 911 and take credit for saving the place. That's not how this works." But that's exactly what is happening. So for those of you that don't use TikTok, I'm going to show you what happened last night when you would try to log on when it went dark. First, this is the first message that users was getting. It said, important update from TikTok. We regret that a U.S. law banning TikTok will take effect on January 19th and force us to make our services temporarily unavailable. We are working to restore our service in the U.S. as soon as possible, and we appreciate your support. Please stay tuned. And folks, literally just a few minutes later, this pops up when you try to log in. A law banning TikTok has been enacted in the U.S. Unfortunately, that means you can't use TikTok. We are fortunate that President Trump has indicated that he will work with us on a solution to reinstate TikTok once he takes office. Please stay tuned. So there they are, giving Trump the credit. And it was all just one big scam that a lot of people fell for. I really thought about making a video and putting it on TikTok and telling my thoughts, and now I really wish that I had of, so that I could have had the bookmarks there to say, this is what I was saying before it happened, and this is what I'm saying now that it's back. We don't know for sure what's going to happen with it. What Trump is planning to do is sign a 90-day extension, so it'll go into April now before we will know whether or not it's going to be banned for good. But he's also saying now that he wants to make a deal. And you will see so many right-wing influencers and podcasters telling you, oh, Trump saved free speech and he's going to make a deal and he's great at all this stuff. And it's all just one big scam that played everybody. But I want to bring up here what Trump said about the TikTok ban. This was what he posted on Truth Social. If I can get it to pull up here. So yeah, he says, I'm asking companies to not let TikTok stay dark. I will issue an executive order on Monday to extend the period of time before the law's prohibition take effect so that we can make a deal to protect our national security. The order will also confirm that there will be no liability for any company that helped keep TikTok from going dark before my order. Americans deserve to see how exciting our inauguration on Monday as well as other events and conversations. It's always about him. I would like the United States to have a 50% ownership in a joint venture. By doing this, we save TikTok, keep it in good hands, and allow it to stay up. Without U.S. approval, there is no TikTok. With our approval, it is worth hundreds of billions of dollars, maybe trillions. Therefore, my initial thought is a joint venture between the current owners and the new owners, whereby the U.S. gets 50% ownership in a joint venture to be set up the U.S. and whichever purchase we so choose. So now he's out here trying to make a deal, which makes absolutely no sense. If it's all about our national security and it's all about them having our data, he's willing to let them have half of it? Like, how does that actually work? Folks, they're playing you. There's no other way I can say this. They're absolutely playing you. And it's pretty disgusting, really, to sit back and watch it all play out and watch people forget about how that Trump is the one that wanted the ban in the first place and he's why we're here, and now he's taking credit and now he's the hero in the story. But there is some things I want to talk about when it comes to TikTok and this whole thing. First of all, TikTok is where that I got my start as a social media influencer, whatever the hell you call this now. That's the first place that really caught on. And if it wasn't for TikTok, I probably wouldn't be sitting here because that really got rolling over there. I think I made it up to 235,000 followers. That's where that I connected with the Midas Touch Network and ended up working alongside them now. And so, it definitely helped me get my feet off the ground and get started doing this. And it was truly a good vehicle at first for me to use to get my message out there that I wanted to share with the world. And on that app, I met some really cool people. I've had guests on my shows that I met on TikTok. So many people. Texas Paul, that's where he and I first came in contact with each other. Coach D, Hawk, so many different people Superman Todd. There's so many that I've had on the podcast on YouTube that I met there. I really love the community. I love the creators. I love the community that they built, and I realize that a whole lot of them's livelihood truly did depend on it. So it truly did suck to see their livelihoods hanging over their head and their platforms hanging over their head that they had worked so hard to build. And there's no way I can talk about this and not say this, but this was a massive fumble by the Democrats. I don't even know if I'd call it a fumble. It was more of like throwing the fight. To let Donald Trump have a victory like this, it was an absolute massive mistake. And there's no way that I can say it any other way. You have people out there that will tell you Democrats suck at messaging. And I agree, Democrats do suck at messaging. But you know who don't? Everyday people that sat down in their chair and went to bat for Democrats day in and day out. And then when their platforms was about to be taken out from under them, Democrats did nothing to stand up for them. So I totally can understand a lot of people's frustration. And I totally understand the reason they feel the way they do. It really makes you wonder when you look over at Donald Trump and you see the type of people that he empowered. He empowered the absolute worst of people. He empowered hatred. He empowered cruelty and bigotry and racism. He empowered people to have no respect for the law at all. Those are the people that he lifted up and gave a platform to, and gave the microphone to, and cranked up the volume on every conspiracy theory he could find. Meanwhile, you had good, decent people over here going to bat for democracy, going to bat for women's rights, for equality, for the gay and trans community, standing up for just decency and trying to get the message out there. And then the Democrats couldn't give them the microphone. They couldn't help them keep their platform. That's one that's going to stink for a long time, and I'm sorry, there's no other way I can spin it. There really isn't. I was talking to Superman Todd earlier today, and I was like, there's no way to talk about this that we don't point out what a massive mistake it was. We can point out all day long that Trump is the one that originated this. But Trump supporters jump through whatever hoop and the mental gymnastics that he does on that particular day. So if tomorrow he says it needs to be banned, they're going to be right there with it. So you can't, that's obvious. That's always going to be obvious. But we really need for the Democratic establishment to realize how many of us out here has built up platforms. How many of us has built up platforms and worked hard to do it and went to bat for them and their ideas and told people that they were better off under Democratic leadership. The least they could do is stand up for us. Now, President Biden did give one of his final interviews to the Midas Touch Network, and I thought that was a really good sign. And maybe people should look at that. More people in the Democratic establishment should look at something like that and try to gravitate more toward places like that. Because why should any Democratic politician go on Fox News and let Hannity yell at them? Or just go on these stations where everything's going to get muddied? Why not have a conversation with independent media? That's all I'm saying. But it's back for now, and we'll see how long it lasts. I may go back over and try to post some on it. Folks, I'm just going to be brutally honest with you as to why I stopped posting there. Haven't posted there in quite a while. I will every once in a while. I still watch it every day. I'm still on there watching my favorite creators every day, and I'm reposting videos for people. But the reason why that I stopped is because suddenly I just kept getting hit with one community guideline violation after another, kept getting hit with warnings that my account was about to be taken down. So then I'm saying to myself, okay, if I post another video, I'm about to lose 235,000 followers. Meanwhile, my YouTube just exploded. It just absolutely exploded. And when it did, it just became a full-time job keeping it up. And because it was working for me and TikTok wasn't, that's why that I just came over here. But that didn't mean that I didn't support the community. And it didn't mean that I didn't support the people that were doing it. I was still watching and reposting videos every day. I just didn't have the heart to make any because you make one and you pin a comment and call out someone for their hate speech, and then you get accused of hate speech. And it's just a truly frustrating app to try to use. If I go on there and try to tell them that I'm having a guest on my YouTube channel, if you say the words YouTube or Facebook or anything else, you get suppressed. If you shout out certain things, you have to watch every word you say or you get suppressed and shadow banned. And that's something else. I would post a video that would just sit there on 0 for 2 days and wouldn't move. It just became so frustrating, I just walked away from it. And also, there was things about TikTok that I enjoyed at first, but then over time I grew out of. One of the things was the pinning the comments and talking to people. I get why a lot of people do it, but I just didn't want my content to turn into me arguing with trolls. You know, I didn't want my content to turn into me arguing with trolls. I didn't want my content to turn into me arguing with the TikTok app itself. I just didn't want that to be me. So I came over here where I could have more solid ground. And I don't really read the comment sections that much. You all reach out to me in emails, and I respond the best I can when I can. But as far as sitting down and reacting to comments, I don't want that to become. I say what I say. I don't have a script. Everything's stream of consciousness. It's just me throwing my thoughts out into the world. You're free to agree or disagree. If you unsubscribe, that's cool too. I did see a comment the other day said someone unsubscribed because I mentioned Sam Harris. I just said his name, and that was enough for them. Okay, cool. See you later. But I'm not going to sit here and make that my entire existence talking about that person. It's like I just don't believe in that, and so that is part of another thing with TikTok that I was like, well, I'm not enjoying it. So I may try to go back. I may try to put some stuff over there because I do like the community. We got to figure out where we're going to be, and I have a lot of mixed emotions right now about Meta in general. So for now, you can definitely find me right here on YouTube. This is where I'm going to be putting the majority of my attention to is right here where it belongs. But I will definitely probably try to get back over there and see if I can't stoke the fires and get some stuff going again. It's just really been hard to gain any traction over there. But don't let Trump and everybody fool you with this that he's saving the day. Like Harry said, he set the house on fire, and now he called 911 trying to take credit for saving the day. And it's just disheartening to see so many people not only fall for the scam, but just go with it. They'll just roll with it. They don't care. You tell them that it was him that did it originally, they don't care. Because that's how quick people's attention span is. No wonder it's a popular app.